Kagurabachi. With that, I'm going to pass this one over to Josh.
Thanks, Chris. I need to... Oh, there we go. Ichi the Witch. Kagurabachi, Chapter 75. Illusion. Oh. Very apt name. I never pay attention to the title name when I read it for the first time.
Yeah.
Anyway, last week, we got a Lord 2-page spread from the author that was enough to earn the RGC by itself.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but it also ended on a pretty crazy note because Chihiro and Hirohiko both took out their enchanted swords for two completely different reasons. Chihiro to actually bring Samura to the fight and let him see his daughter so that they can have some closure. And Hirohiko, just because he was thirsty and needed the fight to keep going. More on that a little bit later. So, we cut to this week. The first page, I wish it was a color page. This would have been so awesome.
Right.
But it's of each of the enchanted swords. We got Samura with Tobamune, Chihiro with Enten, and Hirohiko with Kumeyuri. That they stole from my boy Uraha.
Yeah.
Our gracious boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Rip to the boy. Or is he dead? I don't know.
I hope he comes back as a zombie.
No, he's going to be Nobarud. He's back. He'll come back. He's going to be Nobarud.
That'd be a more solid reasoning than that. But whatever. Anyway. We learned something about Samura's ability as he stands there. I guess aura farming, honestly. Black crow feathers.
He's selling the last of his aura harvest. He's like, all right, this is the last scraps of aura.
Yeah, before he turns into the Reaper. So we cut to Hirohiko and his other Hishaku mate. I forgot her name.
Yeah, I forgot her name too.
She's like, yeah, we should get out of here. Oh, this is bad. Hirohiko's like, yeah, ellipses. He's like, but that's why. If we're going to capture his daughter, it's now or never. He looks up towards Samura, and he's like, he wasn't anticipating having his daughter here. Must be unsettling for him, to say the least. So he resolves to, use the blaze power. He yells, "Banquet!" as we see his homie's head get sliced off right behind him. Popped off clean. And mind you, in the panels, and I'll talk about that later. So, and right after that, before Hirohiko could actually see where her head landed, Samura pulls up and cuts his head and arm off for good measure.
Yeah.
Gets him two slices for flinching. So this is when we get like a breakdown of how Tobamune's crow power works. They say when he draws Tobamune, he uses these dancing feathers to sense his surroundings. Basically like radar. That's pretty cool. One of Tobamune's powers is crow. He can swap locations with any of the dancing feathers. That's like Loki in Marvel Rivals with his clones.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta try him out. Anyway, so right after that little explanation, with literally a bunch of crow feathers surrounding Chihiro and his daughter and Samura's daughter, Iori, he pulls out his sword and he's like, Kuro, shred. And Samura's like, what on earth is going on? He looks towards Minnie Mouse and he's like, was this y'all? Y'all broke this seal? And he's like, no. We didn't.
You know that like Bugs Bunny meme?
Not us.
wait, no. He wanted to be absolutely certain. He was like, that was not us.
Absolutely. We did not. Okay. She did it all along. Summer's just like, redo it then. Which is mad rude because his daughter's right there. And she's like, you don't have nothing to say to me after all of this time? I mean, Chihiro takes a glance over. And she's like, Father, I... And then before she gets to say anything else to him, Hirohiko's head goes, ooh, in the most condescending tone you can probably imagine.
Yugi boy.
He's like, Father. He's mocking Iori. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
And I guess the sword that he picked up from I didn't even notice that he had picked up the Kumeyuri off the ground after killing Hirohiko seemingly, but the sword in his hand starts to melt, and it turns out that they've all been caught up in Hirohiko's attack because reality starts warping and shit. It's a hypnosis attack. It attacks their senses. Pretty cool. So, yeah, everything's turning into Looney Tunes right now. As we get a nice little single spread of the creature that comes out of the sword. It's like Bleach-like almost.
Yeah.
It's cool. Not gonna lie. It's cool.
It's
That's
cool.
That was really dope about Bleach. That was always cool.
Yeah. Very unique, cool looking powers.
Yeah. So we get an explanation of Banquet that, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it causes intoxicating hallucinations. All right. So Hirohiko was able to cast his attack before Samura ended him and his teammates' lives. And apparently he only targeted Chihiro, Samura, Iori, and her classmate, I guess. and left all the other hitmen, I guess, able-bodied. So they are still pursuing Iori and Chihiro. Well, actually just Iori, because that's who the target is for. And Chihiro has to scream at Samura to protect his daughter. Like, Jesus, bro. I don't know where you was at on the father scale before.
Yeah.
But you just went down a tick.
You
man.
had a couple points added. You were like, we were very, like, he's not a deadbeat dad.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has his reasons. We put him at a 1 because, you got to put him somewhere. But this might have bumped him up to, like, say, 3 or 4.
Yeah. I'm fine with that, between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, not good, Samura. Not good.
No. Come on, man. He does do it, though.
So, yeah, he does protect her. In a really cool way, he pulls up and slices all their heads off in one strike. In a circle, in a nice little circle of death. I appreciate things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetically in a comic.
Yeah.
Not in real life. Because that's crazy. So then, I almost called him Ikura. That's the dude from Down to Down. My bad.
Wow.
Nah, but Iori's classmate, I forgot his name already.
Yeah, I think he's...
sees Chihiro. Huh?
Oh, no, that's not his classmate. That's one of the...
not?
That's one of the Masumi people.
Oh, that's the double sword dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He sees Chihiro, running off. He's like, dude, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to get the sorcerer. So we cut to Hirohiko and his homie. And he's like, oh, the Kumeyuri is really useful. But he's half dead. He has so much blood coming out of his mouth. I guess already from his wounds from fighting Chihiro, and I guess like the power itself is probably taxing. And his friend is pleading with him like, yo, like, look, the with the Kumeyuri's power, we can get out of here clean. We don't have to be risky. And he's like, let me get risky, okay? So if we miss this chance, there won't be another. We need to get his daughter. and then she's like, tell the truth. There's no way your mind is thinking that far ahead. And we get a little view into the mind of Hirohiko, and similar to Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, right? Yeah, Shigaraki.
Yeah.
Early on with his gamer lingo and stuff. We see him playing the game. This is continue and quit. And it's like just like a kid always wanted to play one more game. Like that's just how he is. He can't stop. So he's like, it's that obvious? She's like, totally. You know, how long have we known each other? And he's like, no quitting, one more time. Which, yeah, I'll talk more about that later. So, anyway, we get my favorite moment of the entire comic. As Hirohiko's like, besides, he's already coming. As we see a black goldfish right behind them. We get a layout of the building for some reason. They say the first Kuro is for detection. Oh, it's showing the I guess radar radius of Kuro's ability from the N10. It says a beginner has a limited range. He's using the Kumeyuri. I'll search inside the hotel. Oh, I guess that's Hirohiko saying that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Apparently Chihiro knows the Kumeyuri's abilities. No, that's still Hirohiko saying all of that. He's like,
no, this is Chihiro thinking, because he says that that's why I strengthened my inner ears using Nishiki.
Oh, that's how he was able to avoid
being dizzy.
Right. Thanks, Chris, for the assist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's prepared to deal with that attack, and we see him creeping out this
Dude,
out
he
the
just
hallway,
walked
from
out of
down the
there.
hallway. Which brings me back to that. I don't know if you've been seeing like Marvel Rivals memes, Chris, but like there's one of like Magic, like kind of peeking from the hallway because she's like waiting to catch like the support characters lacking.
I did see
She's
that
a
one.
bully, yo.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's a bully too. Fuck
Spider-Man is literally everywhere now.
Yeah, there was a bunch of those memes like with Magic, and if I see one, I'm gonna send it to you, Chris, and you'll see. But man, Chihiro looks fucking menacing.
Yeah.
He's here to murder people. He's not there to make friends with them, to have a discussion about their life choices. Not at all. So Hirohiko's like, oh, this time I'm gonna win, as they clash swords. And Hirohiko's like, oh, you better actually try to kill me this time. And Chihiro's like, last time, I didn't know the Kumeyuri's whereabouts, so now that I found it, I have no issues killing you. That's so smart, because obviously he's connected to it. And he knew he was connected to it because he drew it last time. Mm-hmm. That's why Hirohiko's stupid. He's such a thirst bucket. Yeah, they're squaring off. Iori, and then we cut to Iori and Samura. She's looking on to him as he's defending her. Nothing said. Now we're in Tokyo. And there's two gentlemen talking, which is
Yura.
I keep forgetting these guys' names. Yura, thank you. The head boss sorcerer of the Hishaku, and his homie, the big root plant guy that attacked the temple that Samura was at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the scene of the devastating betrayal, as well as me and Brian's epic L.
What happened?
Yeah.
What epic kill?
I don't. The wrong Burgundy at that temple.
Oh, right, yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
You know what's
So,
crazy? This guy has not been named yet.
Yeah, I was just wondering. It's like, who even is this fucking guy?
I went to look it up. He hasn't.
It's not
He
my
doesn't
fault
have a
for not
name yet.
remembering. Thank you, Brian.
His name in the
Got my back.
Wikipedia, his name in the Kagurabachi wiki is Ishaku Sorcerer.
Ishaku was sorcerer number 1.
Pretty wild.
Mr. Tree Fedora, man.
If he had a Pokemon, he would catch Pseudo Udo.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so they're having a conversation, and Yura's like, Seiichi Samura is the Shaku's most powerful weapon right now. We must wield him wisely and then sacrifice him for the greatest possible gain, of course. And they're like, one key to sealing his fate is his daughter, depending on how the battle in Kyoto is going. Like, literally at that hotel as they're speaking.
Yeah.
Because, they're real cool and chill about it. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens there, we'll tell them what to do next because they got plans. And they're like, depending on what happens in Kyoto, we'll fire 2 arrows. Please let one of them be one that kills Samura. Well, that wrong. So, what the other arrow definitely is that as one of the sorcerers, Yura points down, he says, deep down, right below us, lies the Shinichi and the Kumeyuri headquarters. As the nameless sorcerer chimes in, and he says, "Ho ho, quite the obstacle." Yeah.
Quite the challenge.
He even says, "Oh dear, this is gonna be rough."
Yeah. Looks like we'll actually have to try.
They might have to actually go all out.
We might have to use.
It's so exhausting.
Oh man, looks like we'll have to take this serious.
So, anyway, it seems that I was actually a little bit wrong because this is occurring right before Samura pulls up to the scene. Because when he does, he finally deactivates the omnipotent eye in the sky, super creeper style. And that's when the 2 sorcerers make their move to seemingly attack the Kumeyuri headquarters. And that's the end of Kagurabachi. Okay, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Pretty fire fucking chapter, honestly. I'm just so glad that we got to see the Kumeyuri in action. I was honestly afraid that we were gonna get fucking cock blocked again before we got to see what it would do.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I saw that they like lopped off his head. It was like, again?
I'm like, God damn, this,
Like, how
we're
they
never
gonna heal
gonna see
that?
what this sword can do.
Are we ever gonna see what happens here?
You know what I thought immediately when I saw it happen? I was like, well, Josh is fucked.
Yes.
Oh,
Me
Josh
too.
is
I was
fucked.
like, no.
But then I saw Hirohiko live and was like,
Yeah, after that, I was just
Dude,
like,
I'm
damn.
not feeling great about it, though. I'll tell you that.
you might be right still. I mean, it's not looking good. But
I'm not saying I'm doubtful. I'm just said I'm not feeling great.
So this chapter is very interesting because this is the first time we've seen in a long time an actual fight between 2 enchanted blades. Like the last time we saw this was with Cloud Gouger, like near the beginning of the series. And Chihiro has gotten so much better since then. So the destructive force of this battle is going to be even fucking crazier compared to the Cloud Gouger fight. And Cloud Gouger was no fucking joke. Like that, like just seeing the capabilities of that sword so early on, and now having this like clash happen again. Man, I'm really fucking excited. Though I will say I'm really curious what they're gonna do with Hirohiko because you know this series doesn't hold on to people. Like this series is more than happy to take care of like prominent villains. Like what was the name of the guy with Cloud Gouger? Was it
Soju?
Soju?
Something like that. I think so.
I think
Sojo.
So like that guy, he had the energy about him to be around for a while, and they just got his ass. So Hirohiko feels the same way as that character. But man, Kagurabachi has a way of making you feel like, man, nobody's safe in this series. Anybody can go. And my theory is that N10 is going to break at some point in the series. And Hirohiko is going to have to forge his own sword. And I feel like a good I feel like the start of that might happen here in this arc. After this fight with Hirohiko and maybe even Saburo. Like the fact that N10 got out unscathed in a fight against like 2 enchanted blades, not just 1 but 2. It's bound to give up at some point. It's bound to lose its power eventually. So I think that we have to pay attention to N10 in this arc because there's a chance that it might not be with us at the end of it. After all's said and done. But yeah, this was a pretty fucking awesome chapter. Huh? What'd you say, Josh?
No, I never thought about that.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on Kagurabachi. Chris, what are your thoughts?
This is my really good chapter of the week. I don't know about you guys, but this is where I lay.
I wish I could.
Whoa.
I wish I could.
Not you either, Josh?
Oh, I was gonna wait this. I ain't gonna lie. I was waiting to see if Brian was gonna say it. Yeah, it's my RGC.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're gonna have to do another unified really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Not this time.
Certified RGC.
This one's for Josh.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, this chapter was all sorts of fire. I thought I was very excited to finally see the Kumeyuri in action. I always thought it had like such a cool like design in terms of like the power of the two like geisha ladies, or I don't know what you would call them really, but just like floating around is such a cool and like style points kind of power in my eyes. So I was very excited to see how it worked. And this banquet thing is a cool reveal. I thought it was really fun. The art is still great. I'm excited to see. I don't know if Hirohiko dies. I'm still just like in the place where he is kind of a mainstay villain, but I also agree with Brian is that like so they don't really keep folks around if they don't need it. Like Kagurabachi is not shy about getting rid of certain characters, but I feel like Hirohiko's been long enough and built up enough to maybe be in it for the long run. But who knows? That's my whole thing. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go with the Samuras, if Samura's gonna remain a bad guy or if he's going to defect to the good side now that Iori is back and kind of remembering things. I generally don't know how it goes with them. I would imagine that it would probably end with Samura's death, but I could, I already made a bet that he wouldn't die, so.
Seems like we're both
Yeah.
not feeling super confident.
Yeah, I don't feel super confident. I mean, really, for me, it's either he remains a villain and just kind of stays on the outskirts and remains a mainstay villain until later in the series, or he dies here. And I don't really see an in between. I don't see him becoming a good guy, because I think whatever role he is meant to play is actually going to be taken up by Iori, and she's probably going to get Toby Mune eventually. But yeah, overall, I was very excited about this chapter. I don't know how it's going to go with Yura invading the what's this thing's called, the Kamunabi headquarters. I imagine if they do, it'll be successful. They'll grab the Shinichi and run.
Well, the thing is, they have like the dude who literally committed genocide in there too. So
oh, you think they're gonna break him out? But this guy Yura wants to. Oh, they have to kill that guy though. So
yeah, they have to kill him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and the Shinichi is in there too for some reason. Like,
well,
of all
I
the
feel
places,
like they're not very close together. So I can see them going just to get the Shinichi and then coming back to kill the guy later. I don't know if this is like a one-trip thing where they both get the Shinichi and then go kill the swordsman at the same time.
I feel like they would have to do both because this is their like strongest base.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
can't just infiltrate it twice. They
Yeah.
have to kill two birds with one stone.
yeah, I guess they got to feel really confident going down there, looking to take on the entirety of the Kamunabe in order to get to the guy.
Yeah, they're gonna take on the entirety of the Kamunabi, the literal weapon of mass destruction, and the dude who shot that weapon. Essentially, it's very ambitious plan.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm excited. I just can't wait to see what happens next. Josh, what did you think about the series, about this chapter?
Like I said, I gave it the RGC, mostly because it was a really dynamic and impactful chapter as far as the art goes. And I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of the time, that's what sells it for me.
Yeah. Style
Like
points.
just how stylized everything is as these sequences are happening or whatever. Like the banquet reveal of the two geishas pouring the liquid into the cup. Sure, that means something in Japanese culture. But the sword melting in his hand as Hirohiko was like, father, that was really nice touches. You know what I mean? And even the plot with the Hishaku with Yura and his homie, it makes perfect sense that they would try to attack the Kuminabi headquarters now, especially because all the strongest swordsmen are like somewhere else right now. And obviously, like, the Kuminabi could have helped them in that situation, but it's doing its job of drawing two other swordsmen over there. I mean, I don't think the Kuminabi gonna fold like that easy, but I just wonder who's gonna step up to the plate. Maybe remember that guy that was talking all that shit to Chihiro? I wonder if he's gonna fight.
Yeah. He's gonna be the punk guy who's just like very aggressive. Probably got fire abilities.
Dude, I bet you the old dude that looks like Mini Masumi's grandpa or whatever, I bet you he's still mad nice.
Definitely, for sure.
Watch, he's gonna wild out. yeah, really enjoyed this chapter.